Welcome to today's episode of DownStream Outdoors. Today on DownStream Outdoors, we're back into the wild edibles. It's starting to become early fall here in central Pennsylvania. It's actually early September right now. And we're going to start looking for things that are readily available here in the fall, and maybe even some things that you can store over the winter to keep you some fresh wild edibles over the winter. Today we're looking at the black walnut. The black walnut's a very common tree here in central Pennsylvania. You'll find it in most fence rows, along a lot of roadsides, and around a lot of people's yards. The ways to identify them, okay, is first of all you got to look for this leaf, okay. This here, the leaves are always going to look similar to this. Maybe not exactly, a mirror image of this leaf, but they're always going to be long like this with multiple petals coming off of them, okay. And in the fall here, they're going to have a nut that looks kind of like this. Okay, and this here's the part we actually want for the edibles. But before we get to that, we're going to finish up with the leaf. Okay, the leaf can actually be used as a medicinal. You take a couple of these small leaflets off the main leaf, and you make a tea out of this. Okay, I've never actually had it myself, but they say it's a very strong pain reliever. Okay, whenever you make a tea out of these leaves. Okay, that's all I can really say about medicinal properties of this tree, but once again, we'll talk about the nut here. Okay, this nut here what you're actually seeing is the outer husk. Okay, to get into the meat, we would have to remove this outer husk, and then we'll find a hard shell inside. That shell, just like any other nut, we would have to crack and get the meat out of. Now, whenever we want to save these, we actually want to take these nuts while they're green and pop the husk off. A lot of people want to save them till the husk turns black because the husk comes off a lot easier whenever it's black. The problem is, whenever you leave that husk on there, the flavor, and it does have a very strong flavor, will actually permeate into the meat and change the flavor of the meat. And because of this, a lot of people believe they don't like the black walnut meat because it's a bitter and a strong flavor. However, if you take it while it's green, like I said, get this husk off, get the meat out while everything is still green. It has a very light flavor and very rich in oils. You can use it much like we've talked about hickory in the past. You can extract the oils out of it, or you can just use the meat itself. It's one of them things that once you dry that meat, you can actually put that meat up and have it over the winter. It'd be a great, excellent source of proteins and fats. And it definitely help keep you healthy if you're trying to live more of a back-to-earth lifestyle with your food. So with that, keep your line wet and out of the trees.